was that it was literally, it organically grew into a business because friends and family started asking me to source art for them. And Edosa and the other group of artists didn't give up. They kept saying to me that you've got to do this as a business. So finally I said, okay, let's take this one little baby step at a time and let's see where we go. Now, we've had an amazing year. Our first Transcending Boundaries, as some of you came, it was last year. We've been to Barcelona ever since. We've had a show in Holland. We've had, my artists now get a separate section in the Bonham's catalogue. So I think we've come a really long way from where we started. Even in terms of, if you look at the art, I really feel like we've transcended a lot of boundaries. We've gone really, really far, even with the art. Now, just to talk about a little bit of the concept of why we use this name, Transcending Boundaries, and where it came from. One of my trips to Nigeria about 3-4 years ago, we were talking about what the artists really wanted and where they wanted to take their careers and where they wanted to go. And the thing I kept hearing myself repeating was that we need to push boundaries, we need to break boundaries, we need to transcend boundaries. Finally, I remember in one conversation, when I said it for like the 6th time or 7th time, I just stopped and I said, that's what I'm going to call the next show. I'm going to call it Transcending Boundaries. And we're very lucky that we're at a stage now. Last year we reached a stage where African art just exploded. And it's really become, you know, people are sort of looking at African art not just as somewhere where they expect tribal art or they expect antique art. They're looking now for African contemporary art, and we're at a very different place from where we were 4 years ago when we started looking at this. In terms of we talk a lot at Aabru Art about legacy, and we talk about individual legacies. So what a lot of people like, as an example, Steve Jobs' legacy was Apple, but there's also corporates which are looking into art very seriously now. They're looking into art as an investment. And branding is actually their corporate legacy. So legacy is very important to us. Whether you're an individual, whether you're a corporate, I always use this quote saying, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind? And also, just one other thing about us. We always like to do things differently. It doesn't matter what the norm is in the art world. I didn't start off in the art world. I started as a banker who used to love art and buy art for myself. So I do things the way, whatever seems right. And in terms of, I get asked a lot, how do you pick artists? And this morning we had a press morning, and that's the question people kept asking me. And if you ask me how I actually pick artists, beyond a point where you've looked at an artist's work, where you see the response of the market to the artist, I think it's about the energy of the artist.
At that point we had met Anshu, who's been most wonderful. She took us up on one basic ingredient, like that faith, because she had so much faith in what we were doing. We were wondering what gave her the belief, but I think she has a lot of insight and foresight, by which she took us up. And it's been a wonderful journey so far. So we'd like to thank Anshu and appreciate all she's done with her family. This particular talk, it's a more solemn situation, because sometimes we gather to honor people who lead honorable life, and maybe to handle like processions, which is what this one talks about. You find them coming together at a point, there, just to acknowledge a very well an achiever, in the society. Lagos is a commercial capital of Nigeria, and sometimes these logs are transported through the waterways from the hinterland to Lagos, which through waterways that spill out into the Atlantic Ocean. And you have those activities that have been there for generations, probably decades or centuries, and you have activities there. It's a complete way of life. Further inland, you have schools on water, hospitals, all kinds of social activities on water there. So these ones are a reflection of those more outward, into the lagoon. And they conduct their businesses from very clean the place to when the sun plays. And I've captured the scene at dusk here, where you have the lamps coming up, you have activities, and even camps, floating camps. They sleep on these structures, or sleep in them. And you have all kinds of transactions going on. People sell food and water. You know, it reminds you of it's like Hong Kong, you know, where you have similar activities. So that's what talks about.
Now, having said that, my work. This is the latest thing I'm working on. I think Anshu, on her visit to my place, actually caught me in the act. And I was doing one of these. It's waste to art. I collect fabrics that tailors and garment makers are going to throw away. I reuse them. I put them in further use. Some of them believe I must be crazy, because my tailor would wonder, why on earth Oga? Oga, of course, is a big man. And here is an Oga who is collecting rags. For what? It's hard to explain to him that I would want to put this, you know, to use. So what I do is to separate the fabrics to different colors, and then work on the patterns. Tone down the colors that are too bright and the ones that are too dull, and then now put the images. A lot of people have asked me, you know, why do you have this romance with women? Show me a man who doesn't have romance with women. This protest went on for a week, and there were more people every day. There were more people every day, and it almost crippled the government. So the government was forced, you know, to compromise, you know, to step back a bit, you know, and listen to the people. So the essence of it is, you know, solidarity of the people, that there is time to talk with one voice. And this was what happened. And it was very overwhelming, you know, to see a sea of people, you know, coming out to say, no, we're not going to take it. And it was amazing, because at that protest, at that venue, you had people who will cook in their house and take it to the venue and distribute it for people. There were people who will just take water, large quantity, and go and distribute. So it was not a question of whether it comes from the east or from the west.
I just want to say, for Nigerian art, I think this is the season. For West African art, or art in Africa, it's our season. And the belief of being part of, or playing in the premiership, as I will always say, is now. Is a window into what we have in store. Next week, we have, this is a regular model, one of my models. I asked him for a drawing session, but along the line, he slept off. And I thought he transcended the boundaries. So it was out of the shoe. It's charcoal and oil on sized canvas. It's been wonderful working with you, Anshu. Like every other person said, I used to call her Angel. You know, angels are God's messengers, and they are there, you know, to accomplish a purpose. So the faith, as expressed by Mr. Olaku of Anshu, believing just ordinary men. But I think that behind that, the energy of the work and the energy that we cannot see, brought us all together and we're here. And I'm sure that it's going to be fruitful for all of us.
That something is difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. I call it possibility, which is an allegory to the altitude of human achievement. When you put your mind to it, be sure that you can get it. A lot of focus, a lot of energy, and you try to discipline the body, and then you see that it is possible. I didn't want to give this to Transcending Boundaries, but when Anshu, who has eyes, especially trained eyes, to pick great words, she saw it and said, this one is coming, you're about to get it, you like it or not. And the way this is Transcending Boundaries. And so I thank Anshu for your efforts. I call this supplicant. Supplication means to appeal, to plead, and particularly to the divine personality. And we found that it's not easy for man to really acknowledge God until they become desperate in need. And when you find someone who is trying to get a divine connect, you find that all energy are put in it, for a request to answer. And you see that the work papers was full of like energy, as if someone reaching out heavenwards. I got this idea from 3 balloons that were twisted together. 1, 2, 3. And as I was looking, I just saw a praying hand, then I saw the head, and I saw the form, and I began to put things together. So you can see that though it's no longer the same form in balloon, but you can see that more or less like a balloon light, which gave me the form of a supplicant, somebody who is deeply and praying honestly for divine.
The subject or the storyline or the message I want to put across will determine the kind of material that I'll have to use. For this, I use the iron rod, get a strip of like 2 meters, turn them round. I told somebody, I talk to my metals and they obey me. I don't know why. So I turn the metals and different diameters for it to conform with the volume that I so require for any part of the body. I used man as an element because man we have to live, we have to run that way. But the storyline is that about that journey that we go through, as we live on. So what happens like 20 years ago, if it happens now, it will bring back your memory. To bring back your memory of what happened. Yeah, it could be good, it could be bad. The essence is that we have to be together if we have so many things in common. So we should do no discrimination, racial, whatever. You're my brother, I'm your brother. So life, let it go.